All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the podcast that absolutely nobody asked for. Today, I have a very special guest. This guy is a personal friend of mine. He is a self-taught, self-made man, maybe an actually made man. You know, I heard that he might have some Italian mafia ties.
Damn.
This dude is a testament to where following your passion and trusting your intuition can take you quickly. You were looking at the self-admitted bad animator.
Yes.
He is an artist, a published author, and now a coffee maker. Danny Casale, a.k.a. Cool Man Coffee Dan.
Dude, I appreciate that intro. That was jam-packed. It made me feel real good about myself.
Oh, wow. Hey, man, you're doing all sorts of stuff now, man.
Jamari is my role model. Everything I know,
sure.
I got from watching Jamari videos. So everyone, if you're watching Jamari, you're in a good spot. You know?
Nah, man, but how you feeling? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, bro. I appreciate you having me on. This is sick. Congrats on, this is like the first episode.
The first
Right.
real episode. Yeah,
Right.
the other one was kind of just like an intro. But
Yeah.
You're the first guest.
Are you already thinking about like, damn, what is it going to feel like when I have 100 episodes out there? Or are you just taking it one step at a time?
Nah, yeah, it's definitely a one step at a time.
That's probably what I did
kinda
wrong
thing.
with my podcast journey. Because I was always like, damn, it's going to be so sick when I like can celebrate 50, 100.
When I have Joe Rogan on.
Yeah, dude. And then, I think like that's what you got to do. You just got to start and then just keep it going. And then before you know it, you're at like episode 1,000, you know?
I hope so, man. That's what I was telling him. You know, it's just like anything else. I feel like you can't get discouraged from the start, you know?
It's tough. Like I was saying in the car ride over here, dude. By the way, Jamari has a nice car. It's real. It's like a fucking
New truck.
Ferrari, bro. It's crazy. But I was like I was saying, it was just, I tried doing a podcast 2 different times in my life. One when I was like in college, 20 years old, and I was like just setting it up in my dorm room, doing all right. Getting like a few hundred listens a month, thinking like I was on top of the world, which is, I mean, it's pretty fucking good. And that fell off. And then I tried to restart it over COVID. Totally different name, totally different title. And that shit just got confused real quick. Like you could see how hard it is to stay consistent and keep it quality, just keep it going. And I think like, that goes for anything, right? Anything creative. You just got to stay consistent. Just like do it week by week. And before you know it, years pass. And just like you got like a nice backlog of good shit.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
gotta
that's the
show
goal,
up.
man, to get some long form content out there, get some clips out there for everyone to see and talk to some cool people like yourself.
I was going to say, what are you looking most forward to like having your own podcast?
Just like really increasing my presence online, like my personal presence past just commentary.
Yeah.
Pretty much is like, what I'm really trying to do. And just not become more of an influencer, but just enter more of like that type of space where I'm making my own type of content.
I mean, your goal should be to stir up as much drama as possible.
Just have the fucking hottest show.
Yeah, dude. Just talk about real delicate subjects.
Maybe it just depends on the guest, man. I know
Nah,
some
don't
people
do any
probably
of that.
don't want to
Don't
get
do
too
any of that.
political.
No. Don't do any of that. You're good, bro. You're good. Keep it real.
Nah, man, but let's just get into like kind of like who you are, like how you would describe your career and stuff for the people who don't know
Cool.
about you, because you run a massive brand at this point under the, I guess, would you say it's all under like the Cool Man umbrella?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm still figuring out like anybody else. I got hella imposter syndrome every fucking day, so it's nice to hear, a nice encapsulated intro that you wrote there.
For sure.
But, first and foremost, I'm just, an artist, animator, and, I just kind of talk about just showing up. Like I just got very lucky, yes, but I also really just kept hammering at opportunities year by year, and nothing really stuck until it did. And my first real hit that blew up and went viral was an animation called Snakes Have Legs. And that was just a dumb, like 3 a.m. idea I had while I was brushing my teeth. I'm living in Brooklyn with like 5 other dudes. It's 2017. I had like barely enough money to pay rent and feed myself. And but I was just messing around. I was like bopping around New York City, like filming music videos for people to like, pay some bills and shit. And animation was something that I totally did on the side. So it was wild to me that it was my animation that blew up, like way more than anything I've ever done in my life has blown up. And so I just kind of kept doing that. I was like, wow, that worked. I'm going to keep doing that. And
But that was the first like breakthrough, the Snakes with Legs.
that was the first breakthrough. I mean,
At that point,
like,
where were you in terms of subscribers or like video views?
I mean, on Instagram, I had like maybe a little under 2,000
Oh, damn.
followers.
Wow.
And, same thing, with like Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, bro, like that's what kicked it all off.
But you had been grinding away. Like I saw that you were kind of on that early wave of YouTube where it's like pretty boy with
oh, you want to go
long
way
hair.
back?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because those are really like the real roots. Like I think a lot of people could see like an animation like that and think, oh, like, I could do that, or like it's like overnight success, but like all those things like are so, I feel like, instrumental into
Yeah, bro.
building like an actual career and presence online and like understanding it on a deeper level.
100%, dude. It's even down to the little things like, knowing when to post or like respond to comments and those little things that take it that extra mile that other people may not have, the knowledge to do, like or they don't even think to do it. Like you think about all the people that went viral and then they had their 15 minutes and then a career wasn't really made out of it, kind of just came 100%. And went. And if I didn't have all those years of like early pretty boy YouTube expertise, I don't know if I would have known what to do when 5-6 years later I had an animation
so you
blow up.
were somewhat popping at that time, like for the respected time period, like even if maybe someone had 10,000 subscribers, that was like huge at that time.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, if you really want to go all the way back, I uploaded my first YouTube video in 2007 when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so I know you said you were watching a few of those little Cool Man documentaries.
Yeah,
but, I had like a domino toppling chapter in my life.
Yeah,
so that was like the first
domino guy.
Yeah, dude. Like I was like,
I remember that.
And I made a little bit of name for myself, bro. I remember walking around the hallways of 5th grade, like, damn, nobody fucking knows. I got 500 subscribers, but nobody even knew what YouTube was. Nobody cared back then.
Yeah, they probably would have made fun of your ass for that stuff.
Well, that was middle school, bro. That's when it's funny to see how content creation went through the waves. 5th grade, elementary school, which is crazy, goes back that far.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what YouTube was. Middle school, people started finding out. They were like, fuck that, dude. That's weird.
Because you were doing like little sketch comedy
I was doing sketch comedy and, being really loud and goofy. But in the hallways, I was like a fucking, self-conscious mute, bro. I was not talking. And so people would discover these videos would be, there was a range of response.
Yeah,
like around like 2008, 2009, 2010, people would see me like bopping around my bedroom, like talking to like my stuffed animals and like, there's some like early signs of my animation in there too. Like I would animate like a dragon or something. And it was a very unique, I've had like my parents compare it to like a Pee Wee Herman experience type shit. Cause it was me alone, but with all these like imaginary characters. And they definitely defined that period of YouTube because I had like the Justin Bieber swoopy hair and I would like get recognized at like the local malls and shit.
100%, bro.
And I had like my whole like little boy band of like YouTube friends that I made and we would link up at like, I was at the first VidCon, bro.
And that was like middle school, maybe like entering high school a little bit?
Yeah.
Man, we were on like the same type of timeline because I had a very similar thing going on at the time. I was doing like sketch comedy and turning on the camera, recording rants and shit like that.
I didn't know that. Did you have the swoopy hair?
Nah, my hair wouldn't swoop like. Or I mean, I guess I tried to, but my shit looked more like a fucking horse's tail.
Okay,
that's draped over my head because my hair is super wiry and stuff.
No, that's swoop. Were you getting like any flack?
Oh hell yeah! Back then, I mean, now it's probably like you're the shit if you're popping on TikTok, And I maybe had like 10K on there for my little things, and I would get a couple thousand views here and there, but it was like local, like you said, like local fame,
Yeah, man. I mean, straight up, those were some of the best memories of my life. I mean, I remember, nowadays, like, it's hard not to be obsessed with view count and income because you're running a business. But back then, it's weird to think about this, but I never even considered view count. I definitely wasn't thinking about money. But, bro, I was not even looking at, like, views. I was just it was like invisible to
the
me.
project, right?
Yeah,
just like the idea of,
and just like the response and like the comments. And, like, people enjoying it.
Yeah.
And bro, I mean, it got to the point where I would like just be filming my shit around my hometown, and my friends would like start starring in it.
Cool, man.
And it really is wild. I got up to like 50,000 subscribers. I remember ninth grade, 50,000
you were
subscribers.
popping, dude.
Yeah, bro, it was a little bit of a thing, but I just never knew how to like. I remember I had like my first like big meeting, and I woke up to an email, and I'm like ninth grade, bro, like 14 years old, and like the manager of Big Time Rush wanted to meet with me in New York City, where I'm from, and from Long Island, and so I go into the city with my parents, and like they like made me dress up, bro, like they maybe wear a collar shirt and shit. And I roll up, and it's just like, dude, I remember this day so vividly. I was like, man, this is my big break. Like, I walk into this office in New York City, and all these creatives like sitting around. And I remember I went to the bathroom, and my parents are in there just making small talk because I had no managers or shit. And so something that my dad told me that the executives or whatever were saying when I was in the bathroom was like, oh yeah, we got to wait for the talent to come back. And I was like, wow, the talent, bro, holy shit.
The man of the hour.
Yeah. And I remember going back to high school just being like, yeah, guys, like, I think like I'm set, man. Nothing came out of this shit, bro. I also got my first girlfriend shortly after that, so that distracted me, and I just kind of stopped making YouTube videos.
Damn, bro.
But
so there was a gap between like, man, it's crazy, like the parallels that we draw like on that type of stuff, because I had a very similar like story. Like my first couple years of high school, it was like popping, and then I kind of like focused on sports, focused on girls, and
you have your first sip of beer, and you're like, this is
cool.
Yeah,
you're worried about other shit, and at the same time, like at that time, people probably talking shit about you for doing it and stuff.
Well, you know what, bro? Like, it's interesting to hear that you had the same trajectory, because it's wild to see, elementary school, people were like, I don't know what YouTube is at all. They didn't care. And then middle school, people started finding out about it, and they were like, most of the people were like, that's weird. That's fucking weird, bro.
Yeah.
But there was a few kids that really respected what I was doing.
Yeah, of course.
And those kids, I would not expect them to respect what I was doing. They were like some bad kids, bro. But it was like, I remember like this one dude came up to me, he was like, that's really cool what you're doing. I was like, whoa, bro. Like, didn't you go to jail? We're like in 8th grade, bro. Holy shit. And then by high school, and this is when I started like falling off my routine of like making a video once a week and Skyping my YouTube friends, I would, just do the beer and girls thing and experience the high school shit for a minute. That's when shit got cool. That's when like the popular kids in school started making vines.
Oh, interesting.
And I remember just being like, yo, what the fuck? Like, as soon as I stopped doing this, like I feel like I blinked, and then I was in college, and now like all my college friends are talking about YouTubers and like Vine stars. And I'm like, damn, if I only stuck with it. And I genuinely thought that I lost it. And then, a few years later in 2017, when I had that animation blow up, I was like, this is my second chance.
Yeah.
And I knew I did not want to fumble that ball again.
So how long was that gap between like, oh, I'm kind of like falling off making really any content?
5 years.
To where I'm like, So
2012.
So like once you like got into college, you said, fuck it, like I'm going to try this again? Or?
I just, man, like I just saw that it started becoming cool again. And I'm like, well, what if I just started messing around a little bit again? And I didn't know what I wanted to make. I was also a completely different person.
Yeah, of course.
From when you're 15 years old to 18 years old, it's like two completely different identities. Sure. So I just started like, and then I also was like going to school in New York City. I went to Pace University, which is like where all the NYU film school rejects go. Shout out to Pace. But I was like, you know what? I'm around all these other kids.
Creative, yeah.
They're just
people.
down to make whatever. And why wouldn't I use this opportunity to just make some random cool shit? And I remember there's like this one photo of I lived in like the community dorms, so there's
Yeah.
like 50 kids on one floor, all sharing like showers and shit.
God damn.
And I remember there's this one photo of I made like a short comedy skit, you know, and I didn't have any plan for it. I was just like, you know, casting the kids on my floor. And we shot, you know, I had the whole camera set up and I'm like on my knees, like getting the shot of like one of my friends, like pretending he's the president of the United States. And this is like all in like the lounge area.
Yeah.
And like the whole floor is behind me, like crowded around, like 40 kids, just like
Yeah.
laughing and smiling. And this is like
cool,
a Friday
man.
night. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nobody had anything to do. We were all underage in New York. And that photo I think about because that reminded me the power of like making videos and making content. It brings people together.
Oh,
At the
yeah.
very least, it's fun when you're doing it right. And so yeah, man. Once I got that second chance with Snakes Have Legs blow up, I didn't want to miss that opportunity again because it just reopened up that whole world for me.
So you're in college and what was like the thing you would have wanted to do had you finished college? Like any type of job in media or like
Well, yeah. I mean, I went for film, and I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I always wanted to tell stories through that medium.
yeah.
Still geek out over like filmmakers and you know that whole universe of like who's doing what, who's acting in what, who's directing what. What's your favorite movie?
Probably Goodfellas.
Okay, that's a good one. Have you ever seen Birdman?
No.
You should see Birdman.
I've heard about it.
Bro, so fucking good.
Who's the director on that one?
Alejandro Iñárritu, and really motherfucking talented director who also talented The Revenant.
Okay.
So just super his own look and feel to everything, and but like that movie came out in 2014, and that's when I was a freshman in film school. That movie's very telling of what I thought I was going to be doing because it's very unique, very differently shot and directed, and it won the Oscar that year.
Yeah, I remember
So I was
that.
like all in on becoming a filmmaker, director, whatever.
So that was your thing. You're making like some short films, I guess, and
Making short
sketches,
films
whatnot.
and yeah, just kind of like again like working with actors that I found like in my college, like just
yeah, sure.
fully
People are aspiring to be
yeah,
something else.
yeah. And
feels
that's
too.
the beautiful thing about college. Even though I didn't finish it, like there's so many resources up for grabs.
Yeah,
that
sure.
you'd be stupid not to use. I mean, they're for free.
For you to meet those, and for you to like meet those like-minded people, you know, you can definitely become like more inspired in whatever you want to do.
Whatever. I mean, bro, and like everyone ideally is just as driven as you to like make the most of their time there, you
Sure.
know, and like do something. So, you know, I think it's such a beautiful time to. The other thing is, I don't know about other film schools or other schools in general, but I was not prompted to make shit, bro. None of the professors were telling me, "Oh, go make a short film now." I didn't pick up a single camera in the 2 years that I went to film school. I
Yeah.
got so fed up with that shit. That's why I dropped out. Got to the point where I was like sneaking writing my own scripts in film class.
Yeah.
Because we're watching some fucking stupid documentary about Woody Allen or something. I'm like, bro, like I want to make some shit. I don't want to watch other people make shit.
Yeah.
But there's so much resource for you at these schools, like, you know, that you probably don't even know about, dude. Like they have these things and they have these people and they, you know, also just going to a school in a place like New York City where
Sure.
that could be your playground. Like I kind of just realized one day shortly through like my first semester, I'm like, damn, I haven't done shit. You can't wait around for people to like tell you to do shit. You gotta like
Yeah, you gotta go out
craft
there
your
and
own
get it,
plan.
man.
Yeah, you just gotta do it. It's not gonna be handed. Like I honestly thought you go to film school, you make films, and it wasn't that simple. Even though it sounds that simple, and it was just a big old fucking metaphor for life, I guess. Because you just think, oh, you wake up and you make some shit and have a productive day. It's like, nah, dude, you gotta put yourself in the place to have a productive day and make some shit. Bunch of little steps in between. So yeah, man, that was the original plan. And then I just got so fed up with it, I decided to take a year off from school. And with my fucking luck and
But you
drive.
didn't have a following at all at that time, or
nah, it was during that year off that Snakes Have Legs blew up.
damn.
Like
So
a
we're-
few months before I was supposed to go back to class, I was like, oh, fuck, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So were your parents always like pretty supportive though of kind of like whatever you really wanted to do?
Yeah, they were. They were. I remember one time this is like during the YouTube pretty boy phase, and this is how like obsessed I was with like keeping on a schedule. I made this whole like Christmas themed skit, and I was like, damn, I gotta like make sure this gets like edited, finished, uploaded by like Friday, like 5 p.m. And it was like Friday, 2 p.m. and we're out Christmas tree shopping, and I started just like having a panic attack. I'm like, fuck, bro. I'm like having like the stress of like a 50-year-old Wall Street broker. I'm like, I gotta get home. It's not gonna perform as well. I gotta like finish this. I gotta get it uploaded. Still gotta make the fucking thumbnail. And my mom saw that I was like freaking out, so she drove me back home so I could upload that shit. And so like I know there's a lot of parents out there that wouldn't, do that, right? And I'm very blessed that I did have that supportive parent thing. But yeah, like I kind of just told them like, look, like I'm not making shit in film school, and I feel very unmotivated, and everything that I'm making happen is on my own. And so they were like, well, we'd be cool with you taking a year hiatus if you promise to go back. And I never went back. But maybe someday. But it was because of that year off that I was able to fully go in and, launch a little bit of my own business and get some clientele and learn what it felt like to like, run like a little bit of a team. And I was making very little money, but I got that like, hands-on experience that school wouldn't have gave me.
Yeah, you would have been too concerned with fucking studying some film you probably didn't give a
bro,
shit about.
writing some fucking paper about Woody Allen that I got a C- on. Like and trust me, it was hard because like while I was grinding, I see like my friends like partying in college and and then even when they graduated college, I felt like, this is like 2-3 years later, I saw like all my friends that graduated like having that big beautiful day, and I'm like, fuck, that looks special. But I mean, nobody said that like, taking that path less traveled is going to be like a fucking party every day. Sometimes it gets kind of lonely.
Not.
So you just got to stay the course. I'm sure you've experienced plenty of that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I just think like you're as good as an artist as you are as like a businessman. I mean, it's pretty apparent that you like really take your business very serious.
I appreciate that, man.
I feel like you like to play it humble or like seem like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like I guess that comes from the imposter syndrome, but like, man, you got to be one of the most successful artists on the internet, I would think.
I mean, maybe, man. Maybe. I don't know. I've definitely business is tough, bro. Business is tough. Like, to be a good business person, you gotta like, you gotta be a lot of the things that an artist is not.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? So I definitely think like put it this way, I've realized that I'm more artist than businessman. Because business has kicked my ass a few times. And I'm like, damn, this does not feel good. Gotta have someone else handle the business if you truly want to go all in on being an artist. But it helps to have both. I read a book when I was in high school called, it was written by, what's the name of the director that directed Spy Kids and, you know what I mean? Anyway, talented director. He wrote a book called How to Make a Film for like less than $7,000 or something. And he talked about, how he made his first movie that ended up jumpstarting his film career, and he was boys with like Tarantino. Can't believe I can't remember his name, but he just did all that with his first film for $7,000. And he talks about at length in this book how if you are a creative and you also have your business chops, then they can't take advantage of you. Then they're scared of you.
Yeah.
And that's like a real fucking thing right there, man. That I think a lot of people are maybe either too much one or the other. It helps to be both. I know it's like, trust me, bro, I've been through the ringer on all this shit. But if you really like can do both as close to, 50-50 as possible, then I think you're unstoppable. And I'm not there,
Yeah, but shit, it probably takes years of understanding. Like, I mean, you've seen artists of in all mediums of art, music, physical art, books, whatever it is, like get completely fucked because they didn't care about any of the business stuff.
Yeah,
And then,
true.
you know, somewhere down the line, they're like, well, I signed, you know, this fucked up deal, or I was managed by a crook, or whatever it is. And it is sad, bro, because they're the ones, like, without their art, the manager wouldn't have shit.
Man, I mean, I mean, if you've been a part of the YouTube game as long as I have, you know, you've seen it, bro. You've seen what I've seen. You've seen people getting taken advantage of.
Oh, totally.
I don't know, like, if you have ever come close or got into the depths of all that, but like, it's an ugly world, bro. I've had some fucked up run-ins myself, and it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. But I feel like you have to go through those experiences to truly get better at protecting yourself.
Yep.
And at respecting yourself as a creator, as an artist. You know, I think all too often a lot of creators, you know, maybe they're like a little bit too trusting, and you know, they think everybody is maybe as good-hearted as they are and just down to collaborate. It's like, no, motherfucker, those people are trying to like make a buck off of you. And,
yeah, sure.
And you don't realize it until it's done. You know what I mean? And have you ever had any issues with any of that? Like,
I mean, up until now, I've just been mostly independent. Like, I represent myself independently when it came to sponsors, and just like was stacking ad revenue pretty much. But
it's good, bro.
now I'm getting to the point where, I mean, I have opened myself up to possibly more, you know, experiences like that. But you know, for the most part, I'm trying to do everything right. But luckily, no, not yet. Yeah.
It's good, bro, because if you're rocking that shit, you know, alone, and you don't, you know, you pretty much cut all like liabilities off.
Yeah.
Like nobody, if you're not letting anybody in yet, and you've come this far, that's huge.
Well, yeah, and now it's like it's to the point where I have enough capital where I can just run shit on my own. Like, instead of like, like I've had several offers of people, they wanted to make like a show using my likeness or a podcast under their umbrella, but it was always like, I could pay for it and do it myself. And just own all the content. You know, they would have owned all the whole IP and shit like that.
I mean, that's great that you got that mentality, man. And like you said, like, I think if you can do it all by yourself, like, do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
People like me, I get very excited about like working alongside other people, and
definitely
it's a blessing and a curse, because I've also, you know, I've had amazing things happen to me because I've worked with people, and just like welcome them into my world. And then I've also been a little too trusting on the flip side of that with like who I let into my world, and so it's a careful balance. Like, I think if you're, you know, for any creators listening, like, you gotta definitely tread accordingly, and you gotta trust your gut. And it doesn't hurt to have some like mentor or, you know, advisor in your life to like, you know, sniff shit out for you.
Yeah.
Which is cool that you kind of got that on your own. Like, if you got that intuition on your own, I mean, all the more props to you, bro.
I mean, I guess I'm not a very trusting person, actually. Really. Yeah, when it comes down to it, I'm not trusting at all. And like, I'm just now learning to be more hands-off with my content and stuff.
So we have the opposite.
I guess, yeah. I mean, up until now, like, I've done everything. I've wrote every script, edited every video, you know, everything. And took a lot of pride in that. But at some point, like, it is, like, now I'm like, I can be more hands-off. But I'm only, like, trusting people like my producer, Deegan, who I've known since college and stuff.
Well, that's big, bro. That's big. And I've come to appreciate that a lot more, because you have a lot of disposable people in this industry that come in and go as they please. Maybe get something from you and then they leave. And
but do you think that sometimes that's all right, as if they're not like disrespectful about it? Like, if someone comes to you and they want an opportunity, like I saw on your website, you have like opportunity for like animators, right?
Yep.
And if someone were to, you know, let's say do some really good work for you and say, well, thanks, Danny, but I'm moving on. You know? I mean,
bro. That's totally. I mean, if it's a kosher relationship and you guys like, you know, everything's cool and you part, no harm, no foul. Guess I'm talking more so about people that come into your world and promise you like, hey, trust me, bro.
Like,
Promise
like
you the
management
world.
situation.
Yeah, management, whatever. Like, and you, you're like, cool, like, let's do this thing. And then, but I think the interesting thing, because you grew up around here, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, did this, Texas environment have a big impact on how you conduct yourself and trust others and let others into your
I
world?
would say so. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so. Especially after like meeting you guys and like some other people that are from like California, New York. I just think, just like I don't know, it's not like the line of thinking is different, but it almost is like you're different types of people because you're from different parts of the country. You know, so
For sure. No, it has a huge effect on your psyche because, like, growing up on Long Island, my escape was always going into New York City
Yeah.
because I lived so close. So I would hop on a 40-minute train and I would always hang out with my New York friends, always hang out with my Brooklyn friends. I would just fucking go into like Central Park or Williamsburg, Brooklyn by myself as a 16-year-old just to like walk around. And as I got into college and, all of that, it just kind of became a part of my day-to-day thinking, like, oh, like, like working with people is good. Like,
Yeah.
like everyone's, just like dapping each other up, like all like real with each other, just like super friendly, like down for anything. Like, oh, dude, like, can you spot me on getting this like deli sandwich from the bodega or whatever? It's like, yeah, I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. It's like, that camaraderie.
Yeah.
And that just kind of got bait. And again, like early YouTube days, like
Yeah,
just
see,
like
that's
Skyping
a
with
very
people.
interesting point because, yeah, like if when you're coming up, you are collaborating and like that's what you see like success with. Like, yeah, I could see how you would be like, fuck yeah, like that's what I'm gonna do because, like, all my creative process has always just been like me.
Yeah. And you want to change that a little bit going forward?
Yeah, like I need to, like, if I want to expand it the way I truly feel like I can, but I still, I'm still trying like not to have such a tight hold on the reins all the time.
No, you got an interesting demeanor, bro. You're like, Jamari's like just super confident, bro. Like, what's up, dude? And then like you're just like very not a serious isn't the word, but you're like just very confident in what you do. And me, I'm like, dude, I'm just like so fucking silly, bopping all over the place. Like, I don't even know what's going on right now, dude. I feel like I'm probably gonna be late for a meeting that I got in an hour. Like, and so many people get mad at me for like how cavalier I am.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I struggle to be as like I used to be very structured, organized. At a certain point, like when you have a lot going on, that gets tougher and tougher.
I'm sure, man.
I
I can't even imagine having the shit you have going on. I mean, you're creating like a whole umbrella of products, and like I said, like
I'm trying, man. Yeah,
it's far more than just like 20-second animation now. It's like a fucking brand.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. We were talking about time a little bit before. Like, I can't believe it's 2023. Like, I'm really trying to scale what I'm building similar to how you're trying to scale what you're building. And then you just really think like, okay, I've been doing this for X amount of years. What does the next 5 years look like?
Yeah.
What does the next 10 years look like? Where do I want to be when I'm 27 now? Where do I want to be when I'm 30, 35, 40? Like, you really start thinking about these things. That's why I respect what you do because, you got your office, you got your house, you got all these like, you're building these pillars, you know what I mean? And that's some like real foundational shit that, that builds very quickly over time, especially when you start. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
26, so like the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like you gotta like. I guess we're starting to reach that, creeping up on 30 age, where you're like, damn, like what is it that I truly want to do with this fucking life?
Yeah.
And it could get soul searchy. What I mean?
Sure. Super self-reflective.
Yeah. What is your like top? What's your like? If I accomplish this before 30, that's a fucking good.
Man, like I was just telling Deegan this. Like, if I could have enough money, nice nest of money and investments from doing this in like the next 5 years, at that point, like I might just say fuck it. Like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, and I'm just gonna like start a business, like, so I can like deal with people like on a more personal basis, like in a community.
Yeah.
And then just like, fuck it, be chill making 60K, 70K a year and
Yeah,
just ride it out, man.
Yeah.
Have a family.
Be happy.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
But who knows, bro? Who knows? I mean, I do have a lot of creative endeavors I would like to explore, short films,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
podcasting. I really, really want to write a book, finish writing a book I've been writing,
Hell yeah.
stuff like that.
Whoa. Damn. What's the book about?
It's about this guy that works at a gas station.
Oh, like fiction?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sick.
I have always wanted to make like a PDF book, like on how to blow up on YouTube too, but I can't give away too much of like my sauce yet.
Yeah.
A little too early.
Oh, damn. Have you ever read Superfans, the book? It's a really good book about like the whole concept is all you need to truly like run a business
Oh, interesting.
is 1,000 superfans. You don't need 10,000, 100,000, a million.
Yeah.
You need 1,000 diehard superfans.
Yeah.
And this whole book explores like the thought process around that and like the meta of like, yeah, like you could have, if you have 1,000 superfans, you know, you could have you could have 10 shows and 100 people showing up to each of them. That's a business. You know, you don't need these crazy numbers, right?
Yeah.
You could have passive fans, you know, and maybe those are in the tens of thousands. Then you could have like, you know, super like casual, don't even follow you fans, you know, but they see your work and like, that was cool, but they just keep going, you know what I mean? That could be like 100,000 of those people, but all you need is like 1,000 like diehards. And I read that over COVID, changed my whole line of thinking about everything.
So when did you reach a point where you were self-sufficient based on just like what you were creating, like not like, you know, outsourced work for anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty early into the you know, animation chapter of my life, which I'm very fortunate for. You know, Snakes Have Legs blew up. I think it was June 2020. June 2017. What am I saying? So June 2017, and then by that following January, so January 2018, I got my first big brand deal with Wix.
Oh yeah, the website developed.
Yeah, and they were like, yo, like we'll pay you this amount of money to like make 5 drawings, and I was like, holy,
blew your fucking mind.
Dude, I was at the dinner table with my like family, and I was just like, holy shit. And you know, I luckily found like a manager that I'm still with before all that, and he knew exactly how to, you know, maneuver that. And you know, it's just been like once I started getting that, I was like, okay, like I could see myself like not having to take other work, but I played it safe.
And this was based around your characters.
Yeah.
Or characters you had created.
Yeah. And like, you know, it was still like very new back then. Like I was like still finding my footing, and like I didn't have my main character spesh yet. And but I was just like, damn, like that's a lot of money for like not that much work, just based off of my IP and my creativity. And I was like, that's wild, man. And then I guess as I navigated 2018 going into 2019, then like a few big brand deals came in, man. And I was just like, oh, wow. Like I just started entering the bigger leagues, and I stopped taking like freelance shit. I was like, I could build a real business here. I could build a real business, not blow it on like Rolexes and some dumb shit. And I just, I hired my first employee, who is now my producer, Emily, and, just like started, making some other hires, and started really, really trying to build a well-functioning, well-oiled machine that optimized best for what I'm trying to do. And what I'm trying to do is like, put love out into the world through my animations. So if it wasn't for those brand deals, like I wouldn't have been able to do that. So I'm very fortunate that introduced itself into my life that early on.
And you could kind of see the bigger picture where you could really take it. Because I'm sure before that you just thought maybe, social media views and stuff was kind of the end all be all, and hopefully you would
man. I mean, that way. I'll be honest, I knew there was like a blueprint, right? There was like a, get your views up, and the money will follow, and you could really scale that way. But I didn't know how to do it. I just had to trust that by continuing to create that everything else would follow.
Well, it is amazing, like, for how far you've taken all the business stuff. Like, to me, you really strike me. Like, I'm sure you're very calculated, but at the same time, you strike me as someone who, like, you follow your intuition. You're going to do what feels right to you.
Yeah.
You know, and
I try. You know, it's.
Have you ever deviated from that space and felt like, damn, like, I'm not being true to myself?
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, right? Because it's that, what you just said, but then it's also stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Sure.
And sometimes that feeling that you get when you step outside of your comfort zone can be confused with, maybe I don't want to dedicate my energy and bandwidth to this.
Yeah.
Because it feels icky a little bit. It feels new. It's like, fuck. Like, you know, this is different from the other thing, but it's new territory. I'm going to commit. And so it's easy, especially when you're young, bro. Like, you're navigating all these things for the first time. So I've fallen into traps for sure that, you know, I'm like, damn, like that was a waste of my energy, like a waste of my bandwidth. And, but you have to be forgiving on yourself, because if I wasn't so willing to take chances, I would have never made that first animation. It goes full circle. You know what I mean? So it can be confusing, and I understand, like, for others, like, who's on their journey, like, you know, it's definitely weird. Like, yes, take chances, but don't take too many chances.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I think if you could just figure out a way to best optimize your, like, bandwidth, your energy, your passion, like if you could figure out what that thing is that you want to dedicate all that shit to all the time, then that sounds like happiness to me. And if you're happy, you're going to be productive, you know? So I'm figuring it out, man. I'm just like constantly trying new ideas, seeing what sticks. And, you know, at the very least, if it makes people smile and gets people through their days, whether it's an animation or coffee or the book, like, cool, that worked. Do more of that type of shit, you know, because everything else will follow. Like, if you're entertaining people and genuinely making people feel through your art and whatever it is that you're creating, then, you know, I trust that things will work in the end. You know, everything else follows that. And that's what, you know, you look at any content creator, any artist, any business person, whatever, that seems to be the key. Just gotta focus on, you know, making good shit.
Well, it's pretty cool, like, in this time period where, you know, I would say a lot of stuff that blows up is, like, you know, negative. You have, like, built a brand literally off positivity.
Yeah.
And, like, telling people essentially you're going to be all right. And, you know, just, like, a very interesting play on, like, mental health things that has become, you know, so prevalent in our society now, like mental health and stuff like that. And it's also interesting to me, like, I just think you have so much foresight, even, like, making short form content before it got, like, really, really popular.
Sure.
Because now, I mean, that short form is like everything, man. And it's going to be everything for a long time because of the way people are choosing to consume, or, like, more or less forced to consume media in, like, bits.
Yeah. I never really thought that much about it, to be honest, but you're right. Like, I lucked out in that regard. Like, short form media is, I mean, it's the whole fucking world right now, bro. Like, YouTube shorts, like, you know, I just suppose that derived from me, you know, not really knowing how to animate that well. And so I would just keep my videos super short. But I also figured out, like, oh, that's what got the most laughs. Like, it doesn't have to be that long. You could jam pack a lot of storytelling into a short amount of time. And, you know, again, just stumbled upon something that worked. And so you're like, cool, that worked. I'm going to do more of that. And then other ideas sprout out from that. But yeah, man, like, I'm constantly trying new shit. I'm constantly just, you know, big goal for 2023 for me, to be super straight up, is to have more fun. Because last year, like, there was just so much on paper, bro. There was just, like, so much to do. And trying to, you know, capture all that and trying to, like, do all that it was a lot, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I experienced burnout a few times,
Sure.
and that's it's like the double-edged sword. Like your shit starts doing really well,
You don't want to stop.
but then you're like, damn, like I'm about to like burn out. Then you don't want to do
Fuck
any
yeah,
of
dude.
it. So, I say all this like, all my shit is built on top of the foundation of positivity and mental health. And a lot of the times, like people are surprised to hear how, sometimes I'm very tough on myself. Sometimes I'm like very negative, but the reason that I am that is because I'm just like all of you. Like I'm only human, right? I'm not a
Sure,
super
yeah,
positive, beam of like bubblegum and happiness type of guy. I make these animations because sometimes I need to hear from my own characters and animations what I want to hear, and it's kind of become a catalyst for my own happiness. And a lot of times I watch my own videos that I forgot I even made from like a year ago, 2 years ago, and I'm like, fuck, I needed that. And I think maybe that's my special sauce is I can speak to everybody through these characters in a way that resonates because I'm going through my own shit, like I make these characters say what I would want to hear and like I feel what I would want to feel. So yeah, sometimes these characters just kind of write themselves, I suppose.
Yeah, I noticed like, so was the original special like that's your main like character for your brand now, right?
Yeah, it's like the mascot character.
We have can you bring that out, Deegan? I brought the thing into bring all of it, the book and the
Oh hell yeah! Damn, Jamari brought props.
yeah, bro. This thing's been sitting at my desk. I think you sent it to me like maybe 6 months ago or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
And bro, I always fucking look at it.
Yeah, really?
Honestly. Yeah.
What do you like most about it? I'm curious. Like, what catches your eye? Like, what do you dig about it?
I mean, the nipples are kind of crazy, bro. But
Yeah.
man. Like, I don't know. For some reason, I don't even know if it's like when I look at it, I'm thinking much of it. But it's like, damn, like this dude took these fucking thoughts
Yeah.
and made them into this shit.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I got it, I'm like, holy shit, this is cool.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And it just like that's one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on is because like I want kids who felt like us, like growing up, to be able to see like even if fucking people make fun of you or you think, oh, I'm just dueling in class or doing some silly shit like stuff other people would deem as silly. Like, bro, you look at this shit. Like you can make something out of it. You know what I mean? If you
True.
care enough and are smart enough.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely something that I want to spread more of. Like, I want to do more like charitable stuff with schools and speak to the kids that, I was at one point in time. I was that self-conscious, 8th grader with dark circles under his eyes for no fucking reason. Just like everybody like making fun of me and like I'm quiet as shit and not the best in school. Like I would get like some bad grades and get real down on myself. And all I wish that I could do was stay home and make videos, bro. That's all I wanted to do. And it just was not possible. It's just illegal, bro. Like you have to go to school. And all I could think about when I was that age, like, 8th grade, 9th grade, I'm like, damn, bro, what would happen? What would I be capable of if I didn't have to worry about school and all this bullshit? Like, and I genuinely think I would have had like a 5-year head start, bro. If I didn't have to go to like high school and shit, like I would have been working, bro. I would have been building this shit. I know that for a fact. But like you got to do what you got to do, and you got to play the cards that you're dealt. And like if you're like, I don't know how many high school or middle schoolers you have listening, but like it sucks, bro. Like you gotta wake up early. You gotta fucking go do shit that you don't want to do. You don't care about. It's the last thing you care about. Teachers are like super like not passionate, and shout out to the teachers that are passionate because they could actually make learning super fun. But oftentimes you're just like, damn, dude, is this like my life? And you're just waiting to get home so you can do your own shit. And now like your own shit could be like you're passionate about video games.
Yeah, whatever
what
you're
I mean?
passionate about, man.
Like
Definitely.
whatever it is that you want to do. You want to get home and like go play basketball. Like I get that feeling. I remember that feeling so vividly. Like I wish I could just do this all the time. And so what happens when you do have that opportunity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, And I got that first opportunity when I took that year off from college. And so it's just, you got to work through it, man. And like, if you have school 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. or whatever it is, like, you know, don't like all I would do at a certain point was just like, you know, fall asleep until like 7 p.m. But it's like, use whatever hours you got, you know what I mean? Because like, I appreciate this so much more now as a 27-year-old with like 30 creeping up on me. Like, you know, those hours are priceless, dude.
Sure.
You know, like use all that fucking shit, man. Use whatever you got to like hone in on your craft. And if you don't know what your craft is, just like do whatever, man. Just like read and like surf the internet, like just explore.
Yeah, try new things, man.
Yeah, meet people, like focus on just like, again, like that's that good stepping out of your comfort zone type shit. Like just like focus on getting new shit into your brain and really utilizing the time that you got to explore and create. Because like, you know, life creeps up, bro. You know, it goes by fast.
I mean, I can't believe I'm already 26. I still feel like I'm fucking 21 years old, you know?
It flies, man.
But
it flies.
It really does. And it is interesting, though, to look back on those times and, like, especially, like, when you had no money or no notoriety and, like, you could just, like, freely create. I'm sure it was a lot different of an experience than...
It was.
I
miss
I'm
it.
sure it's, like, immense pressure every time you're
bro.
putting something out.
I was talking with another animator buddy who lives out here, and he... he's like fucking, you know, killing it on YouTube, and I don't want to say his name and blow up his personal spot, but he was telling me how, in a weird way, and I was relating to this, you know, in a weird way, like when you had like batshit nothing going on and you were broke, you were still fucting happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
And so the money and the, like you said, notoriety and all that shit, you know, coming around, going around, like, you know, get it going on like interviews and shit and getting 1 million views or whatever, like, that's not gonna make you happy. I mean, it's cool, and it should continue to drive you, but
yeah,
happiness comes from something else other than all that, bro. Not to say happiness comes from within, because that sounds way too cliche, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, you know, that was probably you in your ideal form when it came to being an artist, like when you can create something that you don't care, like, you know, no one's going to see, so you're just like making it for yourself at that point.
It's the best shit. It's always the best shit. It's always the best shit.
Yeah, because now, I mean, I'm sure you got to, I mean, probably a lot of checks and balances too before you're doing
of course,
almost anything.
And get this, like this will be like the next 50 years of your life too. You know what I mean? Like it's just constantly, that's the other crazy shit is when you realize like, oh damn, nobody really knows what the fuck they're doing. You know, when you're young, 100%. You're like, oh, dude, like the adults. That is
a crazy epiphany to have.
You know, like, I feel like like every day I'm just more and more bewildered. I'm like, damn, everyone out here has no idea what the fuck is going on. The President of the United States has no fucking clue. Yeah. No one knows, dude.
Well, I think it's interesting, like, because I do think maybe when you're like 18, you're like kind of shell shocked by everything. You're like, whoa, like I'm an adult. I can, like you said, like I can do whatever I want. If I don't want to fucking do this, or I want to go to IHOP at 3 a.m. And shit like that. It just blew my mind. And then you experience a couple years of that, and it's almost like you do think you know everything for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like you leave college or whatever it is, and you're like, I don't know shit. And neither does anyone else.
You get your first tax bill, bro.
Hell yeah.
Like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Dude, you don't like, yeah, like I thought I was immune to all those, you know, stereotypes where I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna pretend like I know everything. But looking back in my early 20s, I was like, dude, I definitely felt like I was just coasting and knew everything. I'm like, damn, like I put in my due diligence, bro. I'm just fucking coasting now. And then like, yeah, dude, like life comes at you fast, dude. Like you start getting curveballs and, you know, and then you got bills to pay and you got relationships to maintain and you got to take care of your health. And you start seeing like, yeah, if you're not on top of your shit, man, like, get confusing.
Yeah, I mean, your parents start getting older. I mean, there's a lot of things you got to deal with as you go through at least like this time of your life. It can get really confusing, no matter how successful you are or not successful, you know?
I mean, that was like, it felt like that snap out of the Matrix moment where I was like, oh, damn, nobody knows what's going on.
No one knows, man. You know no one knows.
And there's freedom in that, too. There's freedom in realizing that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like maybe you realize there's not so much pressure. You gotta stop taking everything so seriously.
Oh, and you can be whoever you want to really be. Like, it's not like there's anything like unsurmountable that you can't do because you see, someone else like, well, he was just a regular guy too. And he did all this and
yeah. Well, what was that thing when you were little when someone asked you like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was that thing that you said?
And I mean, probably like a Major League Baseball player.
Oh shit.
And then when I got a little bit older, I really wanted to be a journalist.
Nice.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Wow. I said astronaut.
Astronaut.
I thought that'd be sick.
Yeah, back then, man, kids wanted to be a fucking firefighter or a doctor, like normal jobs. Now kids are like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber.
Isn't that crazy?
I want to run a podcast. They're like 10 years old.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, dude. A Twitch streamer. Like,
oh, yeah, that's huge.
I'm like, bro, like that's how, and that's just like one generation.
Yeah.
Like, not even. Like, it's like 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's crazy, bro. Like, the kids that are like 6th graders now, they got all this shit at their disposal. You could realistically become a TikTok star without even trying because you got it all on your phone. Back when we started, you needed a camera,
computer,
you needed a fucking FireWire, you needed like a DV tape or like a little SD card. You needed a computer,
editing
you needed
software.
Some editing
you need
software.
to know how to use it.
You need to know how to use it. You need to know how to export it. You need to know how to upload that shit. So many. Now it's like you see random ass like 7-year-olds going viral for no reason because they're like filming some funny shit that happened at a sleepover, accidentally pressed upload. You ever see those ones on TikTok where it's like 70-year-old man who doesn't know how he's using his phone?
Oh, yeah. I've seen some nasty grandmas on there, bro. Y'all seen them grandmas that just be fucking selling OnlyFans?
Bro, that's my whole For You page. What are you talking about?
But you say that, bro, but I truly think we're the lucky ones because we got in the game before there were so many players and so much competition, true.
Yeah.
Like, to me, luck isn't, oh, that guy got lucky because his video blew up or whatever. It's like luck is, I'm lucky because I was born at this time.
Yeah.
2 parents that would allow me to explore what I wanted creatively.
Yeah.
And I had the drive to like want to understand, like you said, editing software. That's why I talk about like laying those roots and laying the foundation for who you became almost 20 years later is insane. But it's the same story that you hear from a professional athlete, from really like any creative medium is pretty much like they were interested in that naturally. Like I think it's pretty hard to blow up when you're doing it like now. Like I'm sure so many kids just want to do that because it's like the cool thing to do.
It's true. It could be coming from a dishonest place, wanting to fit in, which is ironic, like when I was doing my thing, it was like the last thing you did when you wanted to fit in. And now it's like, oh, damn, like Sarah got 1 million views on TikTok and mine only has 500,000. It's like,
I feel like shit, man.
Yeah, bro. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're in 4th grade. Exactly, I agree.
Man.
It depends on how you look at it. I wouldn't trade my early content creating years for anything. Those are some of the most pure, creatively driven moments in my life, man. Some of the most beautiful memories of like, weird shit, dude. Like the first VidCon ever, like all the tickets sold out and because my parents would let me go. And then finally they said like, all right, fine, we'll let you go. Dad will fly out with you to California and take you. And, but by then there were no more tickets. So do you know John Bastow?
No.
All right, so he's
like OG YouTuber.
No, he's not even, bro. He's like this fashion. He's like this fitness guy, like Long Island fitness guy, who everyone knows for some reason. And he was making YouTube videos, and I was like, hey, John Bastow. I'm like, bro, I'm 14. I'm hitting up this like 45-year-old guy. I'm like, hey, John Bastow, can you like?
This is the first VidCon.
Yeah, wow. 2010.
Wow.
It's like, can you get me? Do you know anybody who has extra tickets? And he knew Hank Green.
Oh,
so Hank Green and John put on the first.
Ran the shit. Yeah,
they put on the first VidCon.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, let me tell Hank Green. And then Hank Green emails me, 14 years old, bro. I'm 14. Hank Green's like, hey, like I opened the VidCon ticket website back up. Just let me know when you got your tickets, and I'll close it.
Just for you. That's wild, bro.
And so I get my tickets. And I email Hank. I'm like, hey, Hank Green, I got my tickets. He's like, cool, closing the website. Bro, and this is when it was just like a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a hotel lobby. I'm 14, bro.
You and your dad?
Yeah, my dad's like in the hotel room, like not sure what the fuck's going on.
What the fuck is this, man?
And I'm just like hanging out with like a fucking 50-year-old, a fucking 25-year-old, like a 13-year-old. Shit was not weird though. It was just like everybody was just like doing this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And
Man,
those
that's
are
crazy.
wild memories, man. Now I agree. Like it's just a whole different game at this point, and there's freedom in it. There's pros, but there's also cons. Like there's just so much competition. So I think it all goes back to what we were saying earlier, man. Just like gotta be you. You gotta like stay true to yourself. You gotta focus on having fun, creating good content, and I truly think everything else will follow. You know, I truly think.
It's true, man. I mean, like I said, you lay the foundation for this big business you have now. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane when you think about the level you've taken it to, and in
likewise,
a
bro.
relatively quick amount of time, though, too. I mean,
I guess so.
From popping off. I mean, God, bro, look at this stuff. Like,
It's pretty
Do you ever
crazy.
take a second to really like look around your room, and be like, damn, look at all these things that I've created?
Nah. I should though.
And
should.
I was wondering though,
Yeah.
like, was the original Spesh like your Cool Man character?
Well, the original Spesh was like, I made this, one of the first animations I made, like, yeah, still in 2017, was this like weird cat thing with like 2 dots for nipples and weird music playing in the background that I scored. And he was just saying like, hey, like you're special, you know, like if a murderer tried to come up to you and shoot you, I would tell them to not do that. That's how special I think you are. Just like weird improv
So the special
shit.
thing started like a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like one of the first ones. And then when it came time for me to make some of my first merch, I had this like enamel pin company say like, yo, like, do you want to make a pin to sell at VidCon? I was like, yeah. They're like, what do you got? I'm like, I got this weird character that everyone seems to love, and he says you're special. And yeah, just kind of like made that. People loved it. They loved like the little nipple and the weird, you know, you're
yeah,
special
man. I
saying,
mean, God,
you know.
you've stuck with it over time,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And then over
Yeah,
time,
I wondered about the nipples. I really did.
yeah, it just started from me being weird, you know, trying to find that little extra spice. And over time, I just realized, like, again, you just throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. I realized that people really liked this character. And also the saying, you're special, you know what I mean? I think I have it on my pants. Yeah, you're special. So, like, it's a good saying. It rolls off the tongue. It's tough to find things that just sound good.
Yeah.
I realized that's what I had, and you know, trademarked it and did the whole 9 yards. But when I created my merch and the hoodies, like, people love you're special. It evokes some good feelings out of you. It evokes the feeling of, you know, laughter or genuine joy, or like, you know, like lets out like a little tear or something. Maybe you haven't heard that in a minute. Maybe you just laugh at it because it sounds funny. All those positive things in such like a short amount of words. It's like 1.5 words because your isn't even spelt right. So it's like, you know, I saw that as like, you know, the mascot motto, whatever you want to call it. And it makes a good name for a hoodie, for a book, for a
You
coffee.
got so much stuff, man.
And you know, it's like, yeah, once you find that thing that is so inherently yours and that no one else got, I think, for, you know, no pun intended, that's special, and you gotta double down on that. You know what I mean? Like Jamari, that sounds good. No one else is Jamari. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Nobody
Yeah,
else
I
has your
mean-
personality. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta double down on that unique special sauce.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, our boy Matt, was talking about like one name fame. Like he thinks that's
I dig it.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah,
like
I dig it.
To really just have like a brand.
It matters so
you know,
much.
it's
You think
unique.
about like the big companies out there, like Google. It's like, what the fuck is a Google?
Yeah.
But it works, you know. And
Interesting.
so as long as it resonates with people, that's like half the battle. Once you got that, you know, the
So,
rest is just maintaining, you know, just keeping things coming out.
but so when it comes to like the business side of things, I did kind of want to like touch on like the NFT space because I don't really
Yeah,
know too much about that. I mean,
Sure.
I'm somewhat familiar, but I think a lot of people have maybe like some poor preconceived connotations about NFTs.
yeah. I mean, dude, I'm still confused by the whole thing. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, but yeah, I mean, it kind of goes to the whole Spesh thing because I didn't even figure out a name for Spesh. Like, Spesh is not even named in the book because I still didn't have a name for him, which is funny to think about. But in the beginning of 2021, I was like, damn, I got to name this character. Like, it's just becoming so tough to like just call it the Your Special character. So decided on Spesh because Spesh is short for special. And, you know, doubled down more on like working with my team on like refining the look. And, you know, he's gotten like, you know, more stout and chubby over the years. And like his nipples went from like black to like pink, which is cool. And, you know, found his voice, found his personality a little bit more. And all those things that just come with years, right? And
But he's the main like character in your NFT project, or it's a bunch of different.
He's like he's the main character. So when it came to like, you know, NFTs, I started finding out about this weird thing called NFTs that same year, 2021. And this is all while I'm like, you know, refining my brand and refining Spesh, and I had my book coming out. So I was just like, I was intrigued by the whole space, and you know, seemed to be doing really cool things for art, especially digital artists.
Sure.
And you know, I was just like, cool, I'm gonna like see like what the hell this whole thing is all about. And you know, you watch and you learn and you listen. And then I minted like a few of my like old videos, like custom little loops on OpenSea.
So when you say minting, like, because for people that are completely out of the know, like, what do you mean by that?
Well, so at least back then, because this, you know, this whole thing moves so quick and the technology evolves very quickly. But in March of 2021, you could go on this website called OpenSea where people can buy and sell NFTs. And, you know, I could take a photo of you right now and just like upload it to OpenSea, press mint, and for a small little gas fee of Ethereum mainly, you could it could forever be pressed onto the blockchain. So it's on there forever. It comes with a bunch of metadata, and it's like, boom, this image exists forever, and it's tied to all these, you know, numbers and letters that mean it's this specific thing forever. Could never be removed from the blockchain.
And you're the owner of it. Like, if you mint it, you own it.
If you're the owner, you can mint it. Or you could put it up for sale, or someone could buy it, you know, for, say, you know, 1 Ethereum.
Yeah.
And then that photo that I just took of you is now owned by that person for an exchange. And now it's, you know, theirs. Like, without a doubt, it is theirs. Like, people like to joke about it being, you could screenshot it and all that, but it's doesn't exactly work that way, because if you screenshot something, it's doesn't have any of the metadata attached to it. It's not truly that original Mona Lisa, right? You could take a screenshot of the Mona Lisa, you could take a photo of the Mona Lisa on your iPhone when you go to the museum, but you don't own the Mona Lisa, right? So it's like a digital token, similar to like video games, you know?
Yeah, it's like really looking into the future of like digital assets, and like as people start to live their lives. I mean, obviously, people live their lives online right now, but once they like really start where people are living all day, like within like, let's say virtual reality or whatever. I guess that's where like a lot of this digital art is gonna come into play a little bit more. Or?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, you know, there was a funny tweet that I think puts it all into perspective, because like there's a lot of NFT, you know, naysayers out there, which I get. You know, it's such a new technology, and I'm still learning so much every day. If you blink, you miss so much with how fast the technology moves. But there was like that. What did the tweet say? It said like, it was like, oh, like, you know, fuck NFTs, like that's so fucking stupid. And then it's like, bro, you spent $90 on a Fortnite skin. You know what I mean? It's like the same shit, except with NFTs. You definitely own that Fortnite skin. You have it. So,
well, and it has value. I mean, you could resell it.
Totally.
You know, if you wanted to. And it's not to say it's going to always have as much value as you bought it, just like any other investment. But at the same time, I mean, it could 10x. For
sure, dude. And you have, I mean, when shit was like through the roof in like the general market and NFT market and all that, like I had like high school friends making like, that I haven't spoken to in years, just like buying and selling my shit, making like 10, 15 G's. And I'm like, and they're like, dude, I'm so confused how this just happened. I'm like, yeah, bro, good for you. I'm like, holy shit, you're playing the game real well. But the long short of it is, you know, I pretty much started messing around in early 2021. And then I had a buddy who was like, yo, we should just like make like a 10,000 collection. And that's where like, you mint 10,000 of these, and they're all unique, all have unique traits. It's all generative art. So like, you know, like this exact combination of like Spesh wearing this hat, holding like that monkey, wearing those pants with like that facial expression, like that's the one of one out of that 10,000, right? And based on all those things that Spesh is wearing, you know, maybe that monkey that he's holding is like, you know, there's only 300 of those in the entire 10,000 that holds a certain rarity, supply demand, that's worth more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all those calculations, I'm still confused by it, to be honest with you, because like the talented devs that I worked with, which were just a bunch of talented college dudes that we, you know, hooked up with and started building with. I don't know the first thing about devs or coding. I mean, that's like some black magic shit, bro. But we built this thing up in a few months, and people got really excited about it. And I didn't know what was happening. I was like so confused on how big it was getting. And shortly after my show at Art Basel, like, you know, I was just like, what is happening? I was just like, dude, this thing is like, I think it's about to mint out. And when it mints out, that means all 10,000 NFTs
have been sold.
Yeah. And sure enough, that's what happened. Like,
that's fucking wild.
Yeah, and
how long did that take from the time you announced them and they were released to the public to where you had sold them all?
I think we started announcing it in like October. So like, and then we released it in December. So like 2 months, 2.5 months.
Damn. And is that rare for 10,000 to sell?
I mean, now it is. Yeah. Like at the time, like there were a few projects doing that, but you have to show up in order for it to happen. And to build these things back then, it was not at all easy. Like now there's like businesses that launched around making it easy, and like tools that came out to make it like, oh yeah, just like, you know, so you could do it with one person if you wanted to. But like back then you need like 10, 12 people to build this thing. Yeah. And got very lucky with just like the talented people that I knew. And yeah, man, I mean, that blew my mind. I don't know why or how all that happened, but it set up for a really, you know, eventful 2022. Good and bad, bro. I mean, it was a lot of eyes and money out of nowhere. And, you know, a lot of the things that I talked about on this podcast, I learned because of that venture. And it just did weirdly well. It did weird numbers. It was all weird. And that's a perfect example of something that happened just based off my silly little characters that, you know, I don't know if I was ready for that success. Like that was weird. It's still in the top 100 projects of all time on OpenSea.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, man. And that's just a whole separate thing. I mean,
your art though is like optimized for the future. Like the future of whatever. Like
I love that sentence, dude. You just made me sound so genius.
Well, like I was even watching like the little short like show they made out of your character. Your short animation.
Oh, like the little cutscene?
The special show.
Yeah. On my YouTube?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, man, this dude's just taking it to like, bro, I've never seen an artist take it to a place like this, to be honest with you.
Damn, that means a lot, man. Well, I mean, look, like, I remember when I discovered your content, I was just COVID, quarantine, lying in bed, and I would binge your shit, bro, and in bed. And I just would be laughing. I'd be like, I love this fucking guy's take. Like, I really do mean, like, everyone has their special sauce. Like, you're so good at what you do. I hope I'm decent enough at what I do. And, you know, if you stick with that and you continue building, like, sky's the limit, man. Like, I never would have thought, you know, when I first drew Spesh in 2017 that I would have been able to sell 10,000 digital tokens of him on the block.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have thought I would have made a vinyl figure, you know, that 1,000 of them would have sold out. I didn't think I would make a fucking book with Penguin Random House. I didn't even know if I wanted to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely didn't know the first thing about starting to do any of that. But if you just like build over time, these opportunities come and you learn and you spot an opportunity. You're like, is that an opportunity that I should take? And you explore it and you commit to it, and then it could change your entire fucking life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That's something I really admire about you. You seem like the type of guy, like, if you get the opportunity, you're going to strike. and I'm not always like that, so.
Well, maybe we could learn a thing or two from each other.
Yeah, maybe so, man. Maybe so. And you
know?
better remember me when I want to launch my Jamari NFT collection,
Let's go,
man.
bro. Let's fucking go. Let's do it, dude. That Jamari Fortnite skin, dude. Let's fucking do
tan
it.
Superman skin.
Yo, let's go. We should talk about, before I forget, I met this guy in person last South by Southwest. He was just cruising down the sidewalk.
Oh,
bro,
me? Yeah. I'm like, who are you talking about? Yeah.
No, dude, he's just cruising by, and I was like walking,
because we had connected on like Instagram,
my iced coffee.
Right?
Yeah. I remember I like sent you a hoodie or something.
Yeah, you would send me I think yours, like it had like, I don't know if it was Japanese or
Japanese
writing on the sleeves and stuff.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I saw you and I was like, dude, it's the motherfucking tan Superman.
Jamari.
Yeah. I was on a phone call. I'm like, I'll call you guys back. Hung up, hopped off. You were like vlogging and shit, dude. Like,
yeah, trying to get some B-roll.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I remember people like were
boy.
talking. You posted that clip of you and I running into each other on YouTube, and I remember like people in like the NFT Discord were like, yo, look at this clip. Like, I was like, dude, this like, everything like feeds into each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
crazy. Yeah, that's such a crazy moment. I wasn't even gonna go down there that day at all. But one of my friends was just like, hey, this guy from New York wanted me to film some like drone footage for him.
Oh shit!
And so we went down there. We couldn't even film it because it was all like locked or whatever.
Yeah,
we can't be flying drones. But yeah, we were just fucking riding the bikes, and we happened to see Danny, and he called me over, and yeah, this dude's been nothing but cool to me since I've known him, and I appreciate that, man.
Oh, bro, likewise. I mean, like I said, I appreciate like so much more than I ever did in my career. Just real people, and you're definitely like a real, you do your shit, man. You're running your shit, but you don't get caught up in like any like clout or ego, like none of that. You're just a real dude. You're a talented dude, and I've definitely tried to make an effort to be around more people like that, because especially living in LA, bro, like you see. It's a slippery slope, man.
I'm sure, man.
A lot of fakies out there.
Yeah.
So, but you're a real one, man. And when I met you in real life, I was like, just another normal guy, just another weirdo like me, dude. Just like trying to figure all this shit out. So.
Yeah, man. I just am who I am, and that's really it. I'm really interested in meeting up with people for clout and nothing like that. But
yeah,
shit, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Bro, I appreciate you having me, man.
First guest.
I can't believe
very
it.
Good guest. Might be the best guest, bro.
Damn, just blowing smoke up my ass, dog. Well, man, I'm wishing you the best of luck on this new journey, this podcast journey, and you do it all right, bro. You do it all right. So I'm sure it's going to be successful, and honored to be the first guest.
Well, and I do have one thing. I try to end every single podcast with a quote.
Oh shit! Okay.
Do you have any quote you want to bring to the table?
Damn, I might have to look into my phone.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Damn, shit. Okay. Well, let's talk some filler while I
like
do
my
this.
last quote was, "What if this could go better than you could ever imagine?"
Right.
I like to think like that.
Oh, I know what a good one is.
Go ahead.
I got nervous for a second. I don't know who said this, if it's a song or what, but I always had this quote floating around my head. The best is yet to come. Oh. Right? So, I'm always constantly like worried about, damn, like, was that it? Was that what that happened back there? Like the peak, but the best is always yet to come. You're going to continue doing your thing. And whether that's in your career or your personal life or some small things throughout your day, like the best is truly yet to come. You know what I mean? You just kind of got to trust that idea that, every day doesn't have to be a good day, but like that great moment will surprise you from time to time to make you realize like, oh shit, everything's worth it. Just got to keep building, bro. So that's mine. The best is yet to come.
That's good. I mean, I'm good on that one, man. It's one quote. But
let's go.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Danny. Really appreciate you, brother.
My pleasure, bro. Hell yeah. Cut.